You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, bitch.
Bitch.
He says that twice.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if he says that anymore. But like in the 4 movies I watched, Freddy Krueger says bitch twice.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that, like, I assume it's just Rick and Morty. Scary Terry was just like, because I was watching these movies and I was like, he has not said bitch like once, and then I got to the 3rd movie, so okay, he said it twice, and then he didn't say it at all in the 4th movie. So I was like,
there were a lot of times where he didn't say it that I expected him to say
exactly.
it. I think that was like
want to suck face. Oh, he didn't say bitch.
Yeah, it's like the Mandela effect of Freddy Krueger, the Freddy Krueger effect, where everyone thinks he says bitch after everything, but it really is only twice.
It's only I need to finish watching all the movies. I'll report back.
Well, the 3 of us are your boyfriends now,
bitch.
Half bitch. So this
in the
week,
British version, he says cunt.
Oi!
And bloody. I'm your bloody boyfriend now, cunt.
Well,
in the
this
Robert
week-
England version.
England.
England version.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, both movies and the NES game of the same title.
Exciting. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
As of the
Halloween.
release of this episode, it's tomorrow. Halloween is tomorrow.
And if you're not listening to this when it came out, shame on you.
It might still be tomorrow, just next year.
It could be.
But also shame on you, as Dave said.
Mm-hmm.
You should be caught up.
So before we dive into all the Elm Streety goodness, quote unquote.
Oh, and before even that, I know we told everyone last week that we were doing Time Cop.
Yes.
Well, we
This
lied.
week. Well, we lied.
'Cause
And
we're
this is your
lying
Halloween.
liars.
This is your Halloween surprise from your favorite trio of lying liars. We had actually already planned on doing Nightmare on Elm Street, and all 3 of us forgot.
Yep.
Because October kind of vanished, and I didn't realize that this was.
You
gonna
sent
be
a
the-
message saying, "Hey, when we record next, it's like the 2 days
it's
before
the day
Halloween."
before Halloween, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that doesn't seem right." And I even looked at the calendar, and I was like, "Yeah, he's right. That's
Yeah.
weird."
So surprise! Happy Halloween!
Surprise.
Okay. Sorry. We're doing intros now. Okay. So at Dave's suggestion, I started watching Ranma 1/2 on Netflix.
Yeah, he sent me a message.
Really
about that.
enjoying.
I'm
that
really
show.
glad to hear that.
It's a lot of fun. I really had a lot of fun. It's funny. It makes me laugh out loud, which is rare.
It is a comedy. Yeah. I'm really. I when I was rewatching the old anime series, the old Ranma 1/2, I was thinking about you, because it felt like something that would be kind of in your wheelhouse.
It is. I've really had a lot of fun with it. So thanks for that recommend. I also picked up another one on Netflix that I've started watching. In the meantime, all my other shows, I'm waiting for new episodes to come out. I started another anime called Delicious in Dungeon.
Yes. I started that one.
It's a Studio Trigger joint, and I've really enjoyed that one too. It's been fun. It's different than normal, but have you mentioned it on the show before?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go into
it.
it.
You weren't too crazy about it. Right?
Yeah, I dropped off of it. But I don't. I'm not. I don't want to. I know you're talking about it. I don't want to shit on it.
Go ahead.
But I got really bored.
I could see that, and I don't know how far into it I'm going to get before I get distracted. You know, like I said, it's kind of a thriller for me, but I have so far enjoyed it. It's been entertaining, but I've only made it through like 3 or 4 episodes. So
It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it was about it. I just kind of got bored. And
I get it.
And just really fell off.
I can see how that could happen, but we'll see. So far, it's holding my attention, so I'm going to... Tyler, last week you mentioned that one of your daughters was trying to go see Terrifier 3 and couldn't get in because they were checking IDs.
Yep.
I'm really glad they were checking IDs.
That's what everybody in the Discord was like, good. They need to check IDs.
I watched Terrifier 3 last night, as a matter of fact, and holy shit, it is easily the goriest movie I've ever seen. It makes the scene in Bone Tomahawk look like child's play, because there's a scene like
with
Bone
Chucky?
Tomahawk in this movie.
Really?
What I thought was funny is the guy who plays Art the Clown was the understudy for Robbie Rotten in Lazy Town, and he patented a lot of the way Art moves and does things after Robbie Rotten in Lazy Town.
Well, he's really good, and I like the movie, but this one just went like off the scale in gore and violence, like to an extreme that I didn't even. It made me kind of uncomfortable. Like I was just like, Jesus. I was playing Overwatch at the time, but I was watching it as well because I had some other things going on.
Is it rated R or is it NC-17?
It's rated R as far as I know. But it's a rough watch. I mean, there's some tough stuff in there. So I could see letting a minor in to see Deadpool versus Wolverine way easier than I could see him getting in to see Terrifier 3, because it's rough. So just keep that in mind. But I liked it okay. I mean, it is what it is, and
More a gore fest than horror.
It is a gore fest, and it's got some really good the horror elements that it does have. The Art the Clown stuff, where he's being scary and not just violent, are good moments. So, I mean, I don't necessarily I'm not like subscribed to the fandom of Terrifier series, but it's pretty good. So I'm going to give that one 3 stars. Wiz and Sage says check it out. Speaking of Overwatch, I don't know how much longer it's going to be in effect, but the Junkenstein's Laboratory is still going on in Overwatch right now. It's a neat game mode where, like, before you start, you pick your hero, and then you get buffs that you can choose, a certain number of buffs for either your defenses or your offense, your weapons, whatever, and those buffs add new abilities to your current kit, and it's kind of hard. And right now, try-hard dickhead bullies are playing that mode, but when you can get into a good game, it's fun because it just adds a new layer of complexity to the game. And I think they're doing a lot to like get this as a case study for how can we make changes in the future to keep the game fresh. So for anyone out there, I played with my friend Kaiser Ark. He and I played for several hours in Junkenstein's Laboratory the other night, and it was a lot of fun playing with him. So I appreciate you hollering at me. I'm really hard to reach, and so like he was doing his level best to get in touch with me, and I played for like an hour and a half before I realized he was like there and trying to get my attention to play. So finally I saw it and we played, and that was fun. So looking forward to more of that. And then last but not least in my list of things that I did last week, one of which was a colonoscopy I had on Friday.
Hell yeah.
Hoo boy. The prep for that was awful. The stuff they make you drink.
Yeah, I heard it
helps you clear. I can deal.
Bowel prep.
Yeah, bowel prep. I can deal with awful.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is.
Which kind did you get? Like the big gallon?
Prep. It's like they give you 2 of these bottles that you have to mix with water.
Okay. That one's better than the other one they give you.
Oh, for God.
The other one's like give you like a milk jug just full of shit you have to drink.
God, I cannot imagine. So, well, honestly, it's not too far off from that. But the day before, you can't have solid food. Like the day before, you have to just either drink broth or eat Jell-O, but you can't have any solid food the day before. And then the night before, around 6, you take the first half of the prep, which is a little bottle, a little bottle that you add to 16 ounces of water, and you got to drink it all down, and then you got to finish 32 ounces of water in the next hour. And during that, about the first half hour after you do that, you start shitting and you really don't stop. It was the taste of that stuff that was so awful. I can deal with medicine. This tasted bad in a way that I could barely tolerate it. And then but the worst part about it is you go through that whole shitting thing lasts about 2 to 2.5 hours. Then you got to get up at 4 a.m. and do it again. Before the 4 a.m. the day of the test, you've got to get up and do it again.
Drink more of it?
The same amount. And then you shit for 2.5 hours again. And at this point, it's just literally just water. And so...
You're like one of those puffer fishes.
I felt like it. I did. I felt like it. And but the second dose of the bowel prep, I got about 2/3 of the way through the cup of the initial drink, and I almost vomited because it's so awful. So I just didn't finish it, and I just drank the water instead.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently that was fine because they didn't. I think there's more there than they need, but they want you to. I think they take into account that you're probably going to get sick.
Right.
So anyway, I went to the hospital, and they put me on the thing. They put the IV in my arm, and it's funny too because you can hear the anesthesiologist going down from bed to bed to bed to bed, talking to each patient who's either there for a colonoscopy or an endoscopy, and they're asking questions. They ask the same questions about to prep you for anesthesia. And so anyway, I was one of the first ones there, and so she comes through, and then they come and ask me some more questions, and then the doctor or the nurse comes and says, "Okay, here we go." And so she like rolls me down the hall in the bed, and they take me into the room where the cameras and all that stuff are.
Are your hands tied to the bed with tongues?
No tongues. No tongues. I get what you're doing there. And so the actual doctor that's performing the colonoscopy comes in, and she's like, "Hi, I'm your doctor. I'm going to be performing your test today, and welcome to the club since I know this is your first time." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
My anesthesiologist comes in. He looks like he's about 15 years old.
Cool.
And he's really tall and got this super deep voice. He's like, "Hey, partner, how you doing today?" I'm like, "Good, man, I guess." He's like, "You're going to feel great in about just a second." He ties this syringe to my arm, to the thing in my arm, and goes, "Coming in hot." And the doctor says, "Pick your dream." And I was fucking done. I was out. The next thing I know,
let's stick stuff in this guy's butt.
I woke up in recovery. I mean,
that's great.
Weird. I have never been like, and I felt great.
Yeah, you just
it was such a good nap.
Made me less concerned about this in my future.
Yeah. So, and then they told me though that they did find quite a few polyps in there, which are normal. That's probably why my shit in a box test came back abnormal. They found quite a few. In fact, they found enough to where they could not remove any more without potentially hurting me. So they took out like 11 of polyps, and they're going to send them off to be tested. And depending on the results of the test, will decide whether or not I have to have another colonoscopy in 6 or 12 months. Because if they come back as precancerous, then I've got to go in 6 months and have the other ones taken out. But it looks like under the circumstances, I might be getting a colonoscopy every year for the rest of my life, which I'm not terribly thrilled about. But
that doesn't sound good.
It's not. She did say, just to be clear, she did say, "I did not seek cancer. You do not have cancer. You do not have cancer." She was very, very, very specific to tell me the polyps are normal. You just had a lot.
And you're like me, and you're like, what you're telling me is I have cancer?
Right, exactly. She was like, I didn't see anything. I wouldn't tell you that I didn't if I did, because I'm a doctor and I'm doing this to help you. I promise you do not have cancer. I'm like, okay, well, that's, really good. And, the polyps are very normal. And like I said, even if they come back precancerous, this is treatable. And, maybe if I have to get one next year and they get the rest of them out.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. And then they may say, well, you're fine. We didn't see any additional ones from your first time. So we'll give you another 2 or 3 years before you have to come back. And honestly, the worst part about it was the fact that it was a scheduling problem, number one. And number two, that prep.
Yeah.
That prep was the fucking worst thing I've ever had to do, like medically. And
Everyone has told me that the
I've
prep
had
is worse
fucking adult teeth pulled out of my mouth while I'm wide awake. And I would rather have a tooth pulled than go through that, drinking that shit again. It was that bad. I don't know. I wish they could come up with a better way, but it is what it is. So anyway, I'm now in the colonoscopy club.
What happens if you don't do the prep? Like, do you
will-
wake up and they're like, you are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, basically.
You shit all over us.
Well, the thing is, they would know immediately.
Yeah.
Obviously, because your colon would be full of shit.
Right, yeah.
They would just stop the test and then take you off the anesthesia and say, you didn't do your prep.
Yeah, I did.
We can't do this test. And we're still going to charge you for it because we did our part and you didn't do yours. So yeah, it would be, I'm sure that people have tried to get through the test without doing the prep. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to have any more teeth pulled. I just
It sounded to me like you did.
hated that medicine. I hated that shit.
Everyone's told me that's the worst part.
It is.
Literally everyone
warned me of that as well. But that propofol shit that they gave me, man, that stuff's awesome.
That's the anesthesia.
It knocked me right instantly the fuck out. I've been put under before, and there was no counting to 10. There was nothing. There was coming in hot, squeeze, done. I'm out. I'm gone. I don't know. It's really creepy too to think that you can be so alive and utterly helpless.
Oh yeah,
at someone's complete and utter mercy.
Sure.
Because of some chemical that they put into your body.
Yeah.
But
I know,
anyway.
man. I feel you. That's how when I had my appendectomy, and I remember waking up and just being like, "Oh, that was weird."
It's nice that it's so instantaneous,
And I'm like, I'm shaving, and it's like they were shaving me.
Yeah,
they were.
But that's it for me this week. Dave, what have you been up to?
I got COVID.
Yes, you do.
There's that. Yeah, I don't anymore, but I did have it.
You get it almost every time you go out of town now, it seems like. I feel like, is it not?
No, last time I had it was...
Oh, that was Vegas.
That was Vegas.
Okay.
I think that was probably 3 years ago, maybe 2.
No.
Yeah.
No, I refuse to believe that it was
Sure
that long
was. Yep, sure was. So... dealt with that. That was fun. That was cool. Got the little air mattress out and slept on that in quarantine for 5 days.
Ooh.
That was fun. Loved it.
Would you rather do that or take bowel prep?
I don't know.
Put your hands together.
Based on what you've said, I guess the 5-day quarantine.
I'm hoping I overdid it on making that sound bad, so when you do have to actually do it, you'll be like, dude, you're such a baby. It was
no,
nothing.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Literally
So
every
gross.
person I've ever talked to who has had a colonoscopy has said that is the worst part.
Yeah.
And they talk about how horrible it is. So both my parents, you, former coworkers, everyone has been like, oh, that prep
Yeah.
is the worst. So yeah, I had COVID. and slept a whole bunch. I watched a bunch
Watched
of
a bunch of movies.
watched a bunch of Nightmare on Elm Street.
I love that you just like fucking blew through so many because you told me you were like, okay, so I just watched 1 and 2. Now I'm on 3.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fuck, okay, I at least need to watch 3 because I don't like 2. But
Man, I can talk to you about 2 for a minute.
Yeah, I
2
know.
fucking sucks.
Sucks.
And it is like
It's
not
so bad.
even worth watching.
Nope.
It's super not. It really isn't. And I was watching them, and Nikki and I had watched the first one. We had rewatched the first one. I don't know, maybe like last year or something for Halloween, something like that. And I was like, I'm down to watch that one pretty much anytime because that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
And then I was like, well, I mean, let's just see how many of these I can watch. And I started playing the second one, and I was like, oh, fuck, we watched this one too. And I was like, well, I guess I'll watch it again. It sucks. It's bad. And it's like the premise of that one is so stupid. I could tell what they were trying to do. They were like, well, you know, Freddy can only get you in dreams.
Right.
We got to bring him into the real world. How
Right.
can we do that? Well, he possesses a guy who lives in the house that Nancy lived in.
Right.
And it's like, okay, that so far is fine, I guess.
Sure.
But then it's like, what I hate about it is it's a love story.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, it's fine if that's done well, but it's not done well.
No, it's not. It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie, and it should feel bad.
But we'll get into 1 and 3 in the game segment because I do have quite a bit for that, and those are both good movies.
3 I love. 4 is the one that I watched the most as a kid, I think, because
That's Dream Master, right?
Yeah, Dream Master.
Okay.
That's the one that has the kill in it that has lived in my brain since I saw it. It's like the nastiest. I remember watching it with my dad, and I remember him commenting on it. It's the Roach Motel kill.
Yes.
It's where the weightlifting girl, or he shows up, and then like she's bench pressing, and Freddy pushes down on the bars so hard that it like breaks her arms.
Yeah.
And then so like she breaks her arms at the elbows, and it's like then her forearms fall off, and like giant roach legs start growing out of the like broken part of her arm. It is like, so that's not a great movie, but the body horror in that movie is fucking insane because you have that kill, and then like she like, so yeah, she's fucking turning into a roach, and then like steps off the bench, and the fucking floor's all like golden colored and gooey.
Yeah, that sticky roach trap stuff.
And then she falls down on it, and like she's and then she like goes to pull herself up off of the floor, and it pulls her fucking face off, and there's like a roach, cockroach like head underneath that, and then there's another giant roach in there with her, and then you see the room just kind of lift up. And you realize that it's all miniaturized.
She's inside a roach motel.
You see Freddy holding a roach motel. And he says, they check in. They don't check out. My dad finished that line. That's why I remember it. Because he had seen the commercials.
Right.
And then Freddy fucking squeezes the roach motel. And there's got to be like 4 egg yolks in that box. Because when he squeezes, it just fucking shoots out of both ends. That is such a fucking gross kill.
It is gross.
And it's like, that stuck with me. That one stuck with me. That, and also the fucking scene at the end where the Dream Master's facing off against Freddy. And she like hits him with the fucking like taser gun that the nerdy girl made. She like hacks in, she like punches through the church power system and fucking shoots him with his fucking bolt of electricity. And then he gets all like fucking, he hits like the back wall, and then all of a sudden like the souls of all the kids that he's eaten. Also another fucking gross ass scene in that movie is Alice, the Dream Master. He comes to her in a dream in a pizza place And he comes out with a pizza, and it's like a meatball pizza, a sausage pizza, and like all the pieces of sausage are like kids' faces.
Yeah.
And he's using his fucking knife fingers to pluck them off and eat them. It's fucking gross shit. It's like Garbage Pail Kids style. It's fun. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's also like, goddamn. But like in this church, man, he's all like fucking up against the wall, and then like as the kids' souls are like, they're like rebelling against his body, and then you get this another body horror thing where it's like, I kind of felt bad for Freddy. Because like, I mean, obviously he's horrible, but it was like, holy shit. Because like the souls start coming out and you get these like little fucking like baby hands and shit that are like holding them down and he's
homunculus pride whenever all the souls finally.
Yeah, totally. That movie is not a good movie,
right?
But fuck, man, there's some scenes in it where it's like they made the movie because of these scenes.
Yeah,
that's the scene where you've got fucking Joey from the Dream Warriors, and this scene has lived in my head since I saw it when I was way too young. He has a waterbed and pulls like the sheets back from his waterbed. And there's this like hot naked model who came off of his poster. He looks at his poster where she's supposed to be. She's not there. And he looks down and she's like in the waterbed. And she's like a siren, right? She's like talking to him. You can't hear him. And she's like beckoning for him to come closer. And he does. And then obviously like
thinking to learn his lesson in 3.
No shit. That is like the luckiest of all of like the guys.
He really is.
Because he's like, he encounters 2 naked women, like models, over the course of 2 movies. That first one was like, in the Dream Warriors, when that nurse like comes out of her gown, it was like, is that the same woman? Holy shit!
It is. I looked.
It's insane. Because she did not look like that in the gown, but because like when she takes the gown off, it's like that is a fucking like that's a Playboy model.
She was, yeah.
But when it's on, it's like normal woman. So yeah, I just watched those 4, and then I wanted to watch as many as I could, but I didn't make it through 5. I could have watched the 5th movie, but I decided I needed to sleep instead. I checked out this Final Fantasy 11 private server called Horizon 11. It is kind of based on the Chains of Promathia era of Final Fantasy 11. It is good. It is good. It takes a long time to do anything, so it's era accurate. I leveled a little bit of warrior and some of thief. I don't know if I'll stick with it or not, but it was kind of fun just to play around on. And then I played a Warhammer 40K video game called Space Marines 2. I played that with my sister and my brother-in-law. It's like a third-person shooter with like some really fucking cool melee mechanics and executions in it. You play as Space Marines and you're fighting against Tyranids, which are like the Zerg. And it's fun. It's
what was that called again?
It's called it's Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. It's a 3-person squad game, which is really rare, but worked out for us because usually when we play games like that, we're down a 4th person,
right?
You know, they had tried to play it before, and they were telling me that like because they had to get their third had to be a bot because they didn't have a 3rd person. I just hit my sister up. I was like, "Hey, what are you guys playing?" We're like, I'm looking for something. You guys want to do anything? And she mentioned that. I was like, yep, I'll pick it up. But they were talking about how like the bots are just completely worthless. And that game is pretty difficult, like to begin with. But it's fun playing with them because they like to do things where it's like, it's the first time we're playing this. You want to just try it on veteran and it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, we played that for a bit. That was fun.
Cool.
That's pretty much it, man. Tyler, what you been up to?
I have been up to much, but Anna scored tickets to the Eras tour.
Whoa.
What's that? I don't know what that
Taylor
is.
Swift's concert.
Oh, okay.
That's a big deal.
Those are expensive, aren't they? Did she sell them?
She got crazy lucky because she was already down toward New Orleans with her boyfriend's family on a trip, and Taylor Swift was also down there, so she just thought, oh, I'll camp the website to see if they open up any tickets, because they'll, depending on how big the arena is, once they set up the stage, if they can fit more last minute seats in, they will. So she camped that out and got a $50 ticket, slightly off back center of the stage.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did she go or did she make $20,000?
She went.
Oh
yeah.
man, I don't know.
She was just excited. Yeah,
Sure, I get it, but also, I mean, a new car would be kind of cool.
I like to pay off a bunch of my debt.
She's got a very wealthy boyfriend, so she's good in that regard. She'll take the experience.
Well, good. That's good. Can she hook me up? Does he have a brother or some shit?
She's got a sister, yeah.
No, I said brother, but okay.
So that was probably one of the more exciting things. And then, but mostly in this bag, I've got since it's our Halloween episode, I've got a trick-or-treat bag for you guys.
You got a trick-or-treat bag?
Got a trick-or-treat. Got 4 treats in here.
Okay.
Or maybe they're tricks, I don't know.
Okay. A dead man's eyeballs?
Sort of. I do have a knife. And I'm going to cut open these plates. All right, so
I can't. My glasses are off because my mask is on. I cannot. You are a vague shape, my friend.
I get that a lot.
So if you're doing visual gags,
no visual gags.
I appreciate them being explained.
You can just be like our listeners and hear the visual gags.
So I'll complain and be like, "Yo, tell me what's going on."
To avoid spoilers, there is a food product that these people keep in Only Murders in the Building.
Oh yeah. I remember you mentioning that you were gonna do
So as soon as I see that, Melissa watches that. She's like, I wonder how that food is. And I was like, well, yeah, I had it in culinary school, but I have not had it since. And then we immediately start watching Frasier. There's a whole episode about Frasier where he spends $1,500 to get one with his friend and get it shipped in from Spain. And a whole big thing where Niles' son lives with them and he messes it up and they replace it with deli ham and they can't tell the difference. But I went after watching those 2 things, Melissa was like, I really want to try that. So I went on Amazon and I bought some Iberico ham.
Okay.
So Iberico ham
In this region?
It's from
Portugal.
So there is a because this area, this is from Spain. So there is it's a very small area in Spain where these black pigs, they roam free and their diet is almost exclusively acorns. So it makes them have this very fatty, dark meat that is supposed to be the best ham in the world. They cure and process and they sell big quarters of it, like I said, for like $1,500. So I got like 10 pieces of it for $20.
Okay.
So I have it for us to try.
Nice.
All right.
So I have first, because of course I get this. Choco Chica tries it and she's like, "That's pretty good. That tastes pretty bougie." Melissa's like, "Oh, I thought we'd cook it. No, thank you." So okay.
So is it like jerky?
It's cured like any sort of like other deli ham would be, you know.
Wouldn't it be awesome if both Ian and I were like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna cook that." Oh, you mean that's not cooked? What country did you say it was from again?
You want this bigger piece or the 2 littler pieces?
Let me have the 2 little pieces.
So I figure
pieces. I'm getting over COVID. I can't do a tapeworm right now.
So I figure first we can try just the ham by itself.
Okay.
So Iberico ham.
Iberico ham. Iberico ham. It smells.
It's almost more like prosciutto.
It tastes like something. Yeah, there's the ham. It's good.
Because, so like pigs in America, when you pick up a pork chop, you see like no marbling in it whatsoever.
Right.
Pigs in America have been bred like the fat almost entirely out of them. So like American pork is known to be pretty fucking shitty. Like even in culinary school, we would do something called barding and tie fat to it to cook because it's so lean. You know, fat is flavor. So these pigs, you can see the marbling in it, and a lot of people now are bringing pigs over from overseas to crossbreed with American pigs to try to bring some fat and flavor back into. So then the other I have is another.
That's a greasy meatball.
Yep. Is Manchego cheese that you're supposed to eat with this.
Sorry, Mandingo cheese.
Mandingo cheese.
Is that what you said?
Manchego.
Manjango Unchained.
So if you guys would like to try the cheese by itself.
The cheese stands alone.
Who moved my cheese?
There, if you want to give Dave a piece there.
Thank you.
So,
Oh, it's cold.
yeah, I've kept these in the fridge just because.
This is a white.
Yeah,
Like
it
cheese?
is a white waxy rind. Can't eat the rind.
Okay.
So, Manchego. Pretty sharp.
That's a nice cheese.
I like that.
So would you like to try the two together?
I've still got some ham,
Still
so
got
I'll,
some ham, you
I'll
wanna-
do that.
Sure, I'll try them together.
There's more cheese. And then I will...
Give me just a little baby piece of that. Spanish ham. Thank you.
You said you still had cheese, Ian, or do you want to...
I'm good. I have enough. I actually already ate mine. I'm sorry. It's really good though. It's a good combo.
So, Iberico ham with Manchego cheese. Supposed to be the
Cheers.
combo to have.
I can see why that's the combo. It's pretty good.
The sharpness kind of helps with the fattiness
That
of it.
is a good combo.
Yeah.
I like that way better than. I didn't really like that
It
ham
is a
by
lot better than
itself.
the ham by itself. It needs something to cut through that fat.
I liked it. Very good. Thanks for that. That's delicious.
So now we've all had Iberico ham.
Yeah. Too bad it wasn't hanging in the shower where I could just go and cut it with a machete.
Second thing,
That sounds like a Snickers, is it?
I wish.
Okay.
So here is, I've subscribed now to the monthly boxes for Final Boss Sour.
Oh, shit.
You subscribe? They got you, man.
So we'll get one every
Cool.
month to try.
All right.
So this is blue raspberry mango dippers. So it is the fun dip version. So there are level 3 mangoes in here with blue sour dip. I can smell that blueberry very strongly.
So what is that? A dried mango strip as the stick?
Yep. You use there's some. So yeah, you use the it's very dried mango compared to what was in the last mango strawberry kit. And then there's the blue raspberry powder. It lists to lick it first, but I don't think we
Right,
want to do
yeah.
that.
Hey, let me go first. My doctor said it's fine.
Okay, I didn't get a lot of the powder, so I'm going to...
Just sprinkle some on top.
You could lick it and then sprinkle it on top.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I can't see. Don't worry. I'm not doing this to watch you lick it. I saw it.
Fine. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lick that.
That's a good idea, Dave.
I'm going to lick it and sprinkle.
Lick it, then stick it.
and stick it.
It's a good motto. It's a good. I'm going to give Henry that advice. All right. I licked that.
Yeah, you did. I saw it. It was glorious.
I know how to do it. Oh, that's a lot.
It's a fucking lot.
I can't see.
Like sands of the hourglass.
Oh, right. These are the days of our lives.
All right. Sour, blue raspberry, sour mango dippers.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
That mango is better than the last mango.
That's really good.
I still don't like mango, but this is better.
For level 3, I figured that would be sour. More
It's
sour.
not as-
Chris
it's not as
Kattan and-
sour.
Yeah. It's good. I like that.
I didn't think I would like this very much, but I do. All right.
That blueberry powder got me. That is a little bit sour. It's good, though.
Oh, yeah.
For next week, I will have the first of the level 4s. I'll have level 4 grapes next week.
Nice.
So now what I'm most excited about, treat number 3,
There's more?
level 1 final boss sour colada, pineapple, mango, coconut.
Okay.
So when I saw pineapple, I was like, fuck yes.
I like coconut, too. I'm excited about that. I've had a lot of mango, though. I'm starting to think that this is a mango company that has too many mangoes.
That was mango jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Go over here in the light because I don't want more mango. Pineapple. I see the pineapple in there.
Would you mind serving me up some, please, sir?
Not at all. One moment.
Yeah. Take your time.
Okay, that's going to come out in a big glob. I hope you don't mind if I touch it.
No, I don't mind. I just didn't want to touch it.
There's that. Let me get you some pineapple out of
I
there.
don't want to put my famine fingers all over it. Thank you.
Ow, fuck. I got some of that sour in my in a cut on my thumb.
That happened to me. Like,
Holy
Yeah,
just
man.
shit, that hurts. That's going to hurt my mouth, too.
What do you guys want to try first?
Pineapple.
Pineapple?
Yes.
Pretty sure that's pineapple.
yeah, that's what I'm.
A little wedge.
The
That's a-
coconut's
that's
tough
a
because it's
mango.
kind
You
of
want
on
this,
everything.
Oh, I didn't get one then.
God damn
I'm
it,
gonna keep looking for
stings.
it.
Holy wow.
There we go.
Didn't
There's
even know I had that cut on my thumb until just now.
All right, there's pineapple. All right, level 1 pineapple.
Here we go. Level 1?
I had some coconut on mine.
I do. I'm going to taste that coconut
I
first.
got a little of that blueberry powder on mine too. Man, that pineapple's good.
I'm getting way more pineapple aftertaste. Yeah, that's nice. It was all coconut forward because there was coconut on it.
Oh man, that's super good. That's my favorite one so
Yeah.
far.
Oh,
Me
really
too.
good.
Coconut?
Yeah.
A coconut. All
Coconut.
right, level 1 coconut shavings. Woo!
That's good too.
I feel like this is more sour than the level 3 mango dippers.
No, I didn't get too much sour on my coconut one.
I didn't either. Maybe you got a concentrated one.
Could have, yeah. Then the mango piece that I got.
Oh, yeah. It was good. Thank you.
Pineapple with the blueberry powder was really good. Damn. Yeah, man. Those pineapples are my favorite. I
really like those. Just a bag of those.
Yeah.
A bag of pineapple and strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes your semen taste good, apparently.
I don't know. The sour part might cancel it out. And then lastly, to finish up, if you guys are so inclined, I know we've talked about crumble cookie before. I came home not expecting to see a box of it, but there was a box of it. So this week...
Oh, these are the ones you buy, the crumble cookies.
Yes.
Okay.
So we want to end it on a sweet treat. Here is a iced pumpkin cakey type cookie from Crumble.
Cool.
There are 3 pieces. You can have the last.
All right.
Oh, it smells nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm not big on pumpkin, but this looked nice.
I'm not either.
Yeah, that does smell really, really good.
It's almost like a pumpkin spice cake. All right. Crumble pumpkin cookie.
Go.
Hell yeah.
Almost has like an old-fashioned quality to it.
Reminds me of a cinnamon roll.
I don't know. It reminds me of air freshener.
Really?
I don't really care for it. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I can't tell if it was the icing or the cake.
I liked it a lot.
Can you break off one of them paper towels from over there for me?
Yeah.
Thanks for all these treats, man.
You're welcome.
Need one
Davey,
Yes, please.
pass one down.
unused.
Thank you.
Sour pineapple was the hit for the day for me.
Absolutely. He's also been a big hit at work when I've taken him into work.
The sours?
Yeah. Let me put back up my cheese and Iberico ham.
Wow. Did I just lick my finger and sop up the rest of the powder on that plate? Yes, I did.
Man, you made that sound
Am I
sexy
sorry?
as hell.
No, I'm not. The sour thing is a neat idea. I'm glad they're doing that because I know you did it like you mentioned when you started bringing these in that since hot stuff's not really my thing, but I very much like sour.
So this
is
we can
perfect
all,
for us. Yeah, we can all be in on it.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So I think I should get the grapes I ordered, and then I also ordered whatever the next combo bag is, which I think is level 3, like kiwis and something else.
Okay.
Something it was like Halloween themed. All right, that's all I got for treats and tricks.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Nice.
All kinds
thanks,
of
dude.
good stuff. That was great.
You guys want to roll out to Nightmare on Elm Street movie talk?
I do. So I've got a TADPOG totals list for A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
And I've got a TADPOG totals list for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Because, as Dave mentioned, I think the game would have come out more around the time of Dream Warriors.
Yeah, it came out after the first 5 were out,
Right.
which is why I wanted to try to watch all 5 of them.
Right.
However, having watched the first 4, like they pulled so much from 3, the Dream Warriors.
Yeah, so
Or Dream
A Nightmare on Elm Street was released in 1984, which is one of my favorite years for movies and things and music. And November 16th of this year will be the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
When Melissa and I pulled it up on Hulu, it was like, oh, this game is as old. This movie is as old as we are. It
Yep.
came out in 84.
You're only a few months older than
Yep.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I thought that was neat. And then Dream Warriors was released in February of 1987, which is a weird time to release a horror movie, late February.
February isn't like, especially in that time period, I feel like February was kind of like the dump month, wasn't it?
It kind of was.
Where it's just kind of like, this is where we show movies.
But it did pretty well. I mean,
it?
it's regarded as the true sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is it because it's a love story? Were they doing like a Valentine's Day kind of
Dream Warriors?
Oh, you said Dream Warriors was February. I'm sorry.
I'm not
sorry.
even
I would have.
bringing
Yeah, I
up
would have
part
thought
two.
that same thing.
No,
Fuck part two in general.
I would have thought that maybe Dream Warriors. When I saw that it was February of '87, I thought, well, go with your honey to the movies and see a scary movie, and you'll cuddle. And it was late February, so it was
Weird.
after Valentine's
That's so
Day.
weird.
It's just really strange timing, but it still did really well. It's widely regarded as the true sequel to the first movie because the second movie is such utter fucking garbage and super homoerotic, which I really don't understand. I think a lot of I don't know that
the gym teacher and shit.
Yeah, I don't know that mid-'80s horror fan crowds were into that at the time. Maybe they were.
Now,
I
did you
don't
see
know,
Johnny
but-
Depp's crop top in the first one? I don't know.
I did.
Johnny Depp's crop top makes the TADPOG totals list this week.
Nice.
I'll go ahead and do that. Don't let me forget when we talk about the game. I have a couple of emails from Brad.
Okay.
Brad wrote us emails. He wrote us an email for Time Cop. And then I told him, I responded and said, hey, we forgot we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street. So he wrote me another one for Nightmare on Elm Street, but I'm going to read the first part of the Time Cop email and then all of the Nightmare on Elm Street email.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now, I know you've all been waiting for this, so without further ado, the TADPOG totals list for A Nightmare on Elm Street, brought to you by the following. 1, finger glove fashioning montage. 1, gloriously translucent nightgown. Nightmare gaslighting. 1, teenage Johnny Depp with feathered hair. 1, Heather Langenkamp, a.k.a. Nancy, who looks and dresses and is the spitting image of my high school girlfriend, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. I know you're not listening, but she was really cool.
But you should.
Amanda looks exactly like Heather. They could be sisters. It's
Like,
really weird.
Even from behind with her shirt off, where you can see her, you can see her tits because they're so large. You can see them from behind. 'cause
Heather
they're big.
Langenkamp has bigger boobs.
Okay. Because about to say those were distractingly large.
They were very large. All right, back to the list. Sorry,
I think that's why she was in sweaters the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's probably hard to hide that, to portray that innocent, wholesome
The
girl
doe-eyed
look
youth.
when she's
Yeah.
wearing a t-shirt with. She has really large breasts.
They're huge. I'm not joking about that scene where
Yeah.
she's taking her
No,
shirt off. And
they're-
it's like I could see him from behind. Like
Yeah.
she's facing 180
standing up
degrees away from the
straight.
camera,
Yeah.
and I can see them.
Yeah, they're there, and they mean business.
They do mean business.
Anyway, continuing on the list. Sorry, I had to give a shout out to Amanda.
I'm glad you did.
1, toxically masculine murder suspect. Oh, what a feeling. We're dying on the ceiling. Finger removal demonstration. Freddy face removal. Breakfast vodka. 1 teacher who later becomes Woody Harrelson's gross landlord and kingpin. 1 classroom nightmare freakout. Quicksand stairs. Self-nodding bed sheet. Noose foo. Several cases of parental denial. 1 poster of a cat hanging off a San Francisco streetcar in a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you noticed
In
that
the
too.
sleep clinic. I don't even know what the fuck.
I
That
know.
poster was so many things going wrong. Daughter pimp slap. One crop top football jersey and tight sweatpants wearing Johnny Depp. Shout out to Tyler. 1 hidden coffee pot. Phone tonguing. 1 twin bed blood geyser. 1 hardcore Home Alone booby trap setting montage. Uncannily fast booby trap setting. Coffee pot foo, sledgehammer foo, exploding light bulb foo, beds are burning foo, rubber sheet Freddy manifestation, front door window foo, and 1 Christine dressed as Freddy Krueger. Wizard and Sage's acting brilliant thank you awards go to Johnny Depp as Glenn for saying morality sucks and chow chow chow. Did you catch the chow 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 thing? He was going out looking. When they're first part of the movie, they're having a little sleepover, and they hear the guy out in the yard.
Right.
They think it's a cat, and Johnny Depp's going chow 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 because that's what they used to say in one of the commercials for cat food.
Oh,
It was chow,
okay.
chow, chow. So anyway, Heather Langenkamp is Nancy for saying, "I'll bring him out of the dream and you whack the fucker."
Yep.
And John Saxon is Nancy's dad for saying, "There's an unsolved murder, and I don't like unsolved murders." And Ronnie Blankley is Nancy's mom for saying, "He can't get you now. Mommy killed him. And they say you've bottomed out when you can't remember the night before. And I think I'll stop drinking. I just don't feel like it anymore." That's my Tadpog totals list for
The
Nightmare on Elm
mom
Street.
looks like if you got Susan Sarandon off Wish.
Yeah.
Timu.
Timu.
Want to talk about this one, or do you want me to do my Dream Warriors Tadpog total list?
Whatever you want to do, man.
Well, let's go through the first movie first.
Okay.
Just briefly.
Okay,
I
yeah.
mean, everybody, I'm sure most people have seen Nightmare on Elm Street. Have you seen it before?
I had never seen it before. Melissa had.
Tyler, I want to hear what you thought about Nightmare on Elm Street.
I feel like this movie is the epitome of you had to be there.
back when it came out,
right?
like when
Watching
the hype
it
was at its
40 years later, I thought it was fucking atrocious.
really.
There was so much that I just laughed my ass off the whole time with some of the effects were okay. Like for 40 years ago, the practical effects, some of it, some gross out still worked, where he pushes through the silk screen above her bed
Right.
moment.
Wes Craven loves that.
He does love that.
He
a
loves
lot.
that effect.
Well, yeah, I guess you saw it like 6 times throughout that movie with that, and then the body bag, and then the bed at the end. The whole ending had me laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Uproariously.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason though that you laugh at that because it's funny.
You're right.
Though it's not. I mean, to a certain extent, it's made to take itself seriously, but it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And it's okay to laugh at it.
I mean, not
Even
much.
if
of
you
it was-
find it, even if you're
Yeah.
laughing at it because you find it to be absurd, that's okay. That's
like
a good-
everything about it was absurd. Like the mom's weird reactions about drinking, and then her dad, and then he had the worst comb over I've ever seen.
Yeah, but they cut it like straight across.
Yeah.
They, like comb it forward and then cut it like it was hair. Damn it.
Where's the bowl? Give me that bowl.
Even like trying to explain like Freddy's background was just weird and poorly written. The part where he's like, "I'm your boyfriend now," and the tongue through the phone.
I know.
So Freddy's
That-
a perv.
That got me the most, was that scene. And Melissa's like, "You've never seen that before?" No. And I'd been seeing on TikTok, I had no idea that the end scene of the mom getting pulled through the window was this movie.
Yeah.
I kept seeing it on
yeah.
TikTok saying, "That's hilarious. What the fuck is that from?" And then seeing it in this and knowing, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
See, now you can be a part of the conversation. Tanya actually commented on that scene. She's like, "I love this movie." And I do too. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a classic. It scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. I
Sure.
mean, it was terrifying to me then. Now I look at it and think, man, they really did a lot of work. And this was a good, fresh, well-conceived story, whether or not the acting was very well executed here and there. But, it's got its charm, and it still holds true for me.
I love it.
The scene at the end where the mom gets pulled through the
Where she's
fucking
like
front door
clearly a
window.
blow-up
It's
doll.
Clearly a blow-up doll. And it's like...
But see, I think a lot
Stiff
of that.
legs.
I think a lot of that could be like hand waved, where it's like it's a dream.
Right?
I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff, like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, it's a dream.
Okay, so
Well, just the end, whenever he runs flaming footsteps up the carpet to the
Yeah.
mom, is on the mom, and then blue lights, charred remain, falls into the bed,
that
and then
was
the bed is whole
that
again.
was like
Yeah.
when Dad comes in and covers up Fred with the blanket,
Yeah, I'm glad they had a flame retardant duvet just right there.
and then he covers him up, but then he's gone, and the mom sinks into the bed, and there's the blue light, and that the ending was kind of abrupt. It was kind of like, what the fuck?
Well, and I'm glad Johnny Depp like talks about like what Babylonian dream techniques to control your dream when she has the anarchist cookbook in front of her of all the house traps that she sets up in 10 minutes.
Oh,
because she calls her dad, wake me up in 20 minutes.
We were laughing at that hard. That would be the uncannily fast booby trap setting part of my list.
Yeah, not even Dragon Ball Z has like time that skewed.
So I have the weird headcanon for Nightmare on Elm Street that I'd like to share. Back in 1974, they made a movie called Black Christmas. And in this movie, a maniac killer slaughters sorority sisters over Christmas break. And there's, he kills them before they get a chance to leave, but everybody thinks they're left out of the sorority house, but there's like hiding them in the attic and stuff. And in this movie, the guy that plays the lieutenant, Nancy's dad in Nightmare on Elm Street, is the lieutenant cop.
Lieutenant Dad
of the Lieutenant Dad of the town where this is happening, the college town where this is happening. So in my head, I always think, so this guy had to deal with all this brutality in this, and he takes his wife and they move to Springwood, Ohio, start a family, and then Nancy is born, and then they have the Fred Krueger thing happens, and so then he's having to deal. He's dealing with all these kids dying in the town, and the fact that they burned Freddy Krueger alive, and all this stuff, and he loses his shit. And by the time the third movie rolls around, he's a security guard with a drinking problem.
He's the worst.
His whole life was doomed to fail, starting with the events of Black Christmas.
He's the worst in the first movie, and then he somehow gets even worse in the third movie. What I was laughing about at the end of the first movie is when Nancy's dad, the chief of police or whatever, is like, tells his deputy, if anything weird happens,
funny happens,
let me know. And then like the deputy like stands out in the yard and like watches Nancy yell for help from
breaking windows.
3 windows.
I told Tanya, I'm like, how many fucking windows does she have to break in that house before someone realizes there's an actual problem?
It reminded me of that scene in The Holy Grail where like the dad is like telling the two guards to watch his son, the prince.
Yeah.
And like they're like, all right, so then we follow you. No. That's what I imagine. Like the deputy is like one of those guys. Because he is like, he asks him like, what do you mean if something weird happens? And the dad's like, you'll know.
She has to
he didn't know.
She literally has to set the house on fire.
I know.
Before they're finally like, I better go get
better go get the lieutenant. Yeah, that was...
Because even then, look, one... And that's the quickest asphyxiation scene I've ever seen when Freddy hangs Rod. Because like as soon as he's hoisted up,
euphemism. I love to hang Rod, dude. Fucking first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm hanging Rod all day long.
Hey, Nicky, look, I'm hanging Rod, baby.
Come choke it real fast. No, but I mean, as soon as he's propped up, he's dead. Like that made me laugh because it's like, okay, that was the fastest choke out I've ever seen. And then I did like Glenn's death scene.
Dude, the
I thought
blood
that
geyser.
was cool.
The twin bed blood
Clearly,
geyser.
they have the room upside down. It's done really well. Like I like that.
I like when they have I like when the EMTs are showing up with a stretcher and the guy's like, "You're not gonna need that. You're gonna need a mop." It's like that's professional. That's professionalism. That's 1984 professionalism I've come to expect.
Then they get a bucket. You know?
Right? Yeah, they're using it to like capture the blood that's leaking from the ceiling. I know. It's like a pipe burst.
And
It was a teenage person.
It was Johnny Depp.
My God, people, what are you doing?
Even then, right before that, his dad is like, drinking beer at midnight out in front of his house, looking at the teenage girl's window. I don't trust that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the mom's drinking coffee right beside him. Like at midnight, they're both in their 60s. Like, okay. But
hey, man, they burned a man to death, okay?
Yeah.
These aren't the... I feel like all the parents are negligent on Elm Street.
Normal. They've all been affected by it. You're right. They're
And
all
it's like,
weird.
but what's silly is that they all they all cope with it the same exact way, which is they fucking drink.
Just deny it and drink.
Yeah.
I'm glad they know about that local Katya Sleep Institute.
Yeah. You think
right down the
one of them would be like,
It's just on
yo,
the corner sleep clinic, you know.
do you think we should move?
We killed that guy. Let's all stay
Right.
here and keep his murder weapon in my furnace.
Oh, but even
Forever, right?
forever. It'll never come back to bite us. And speaking of keeping things around, not only, Tyler, was Freddy's razor finger glove kept in the furnace of Nancy Thompson's house.
Which I guess was never lit since it was wrapped in cloth.
Freddy's bones were kept in the local junkyard by Nancy's dad.
In a Cadillac trunk.
In a Cadillac trunk.
Which is that in the first movie when it ends,
is a
that's the Cadillac, right?
Cadillac convertible. That's right.
Yeah.
Not a catalytic converter, a Cadillac,
Right.
Cadillac convertible.
Yeah.
Let me. I got a few more. Let me get.
Oh,
my points out real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I did like because I felt like Tina was going to be the main character, and they Ned Starked me.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciated that. The sex seemed really random and out of the blue because she hates Rod. Rod's gross, talking shit about his penis. He shows up and he's like overly macho and creeped out, and then she's fucking him.
And then they make up, and everything is fine.
Yeah. I went to high school.
And
that
then she
happened.
gets murdered. On the
I
ceiling.
feel like that's super accurate.
Well,
I've seen that happen at least 6 times in
But
my
I mean,
life.
listen, you're hearing them fucking. You can hear Johnny Depp. His
Rod. Tina.
Oh God, no high schoolers are fucking that well.
Oh no. That
Getting
part's
it off.
unrealistic. The realistic part is that guy fucking sucks. But I mean, I'm gonna have sex with him.
right,
obviously.
right.
That first murder scene with her being pulled up to the ceiling, that was good.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. But overall, whenever you were like, the second movie sucks, it's like, all right, good. I'm not watching another one of these.
No, I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch the second movie. The second movie's a bad. It is a bad,
it's bad.
movie.
It's real bad, and Wes Craven wasn't really involved as much, and it was just
At
kind
all,
of.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't even think he was in
Yeah.
it at all.
I don't think so.
Other than to, say this is Wes Craven's Freddy Krueger.
I don't even know that.
But
I don't even know
yeah.
if it's that. To be perfectly honest,
He was
with
just,
you.
but in the third movie,
Yeah, he
Dream
comes back.
Warriors, he is a writer and producer. He doesn't direct,
Right.
but he is heavily involved, which is a good thing. And
I'm curious what you would think about some of the later movies because
also Freddy versus Jason.
I've seen Freddy. Before this, that was the only Freddy movie I'd seen was Freddy versus
I liked
Jason.
Freddy versus Jason.
I need to rewatch it because I didn't like it when I first saw it. But
Yeah.
then again, I hadn't seen Freddy versus Jason came out like so much later
Right.
than the movies.
Right. And it was more of a fan. It was more for the fans because it had been theorized for years,
And
who
it is
would win in a
amazing that it got
fight.
made.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, I need to rewatch that one.
Well, I like I said, I have a list of TADPOG totals list for Nightmare on Elm Street : Dream Warriors. And I will read that list now if you will indulge me.
Of course.
The list begins, as it should, with 2 boobs, Maxwell House product placement, Diet Coke product placement, Elmer's Glue product placement, heaping spoonful of instant coffee powder chased with Diet Coke
Right?
consuming. Patricia Arquette takes a spoonful of Maxwell House instant coffee, pops it into her mouth, and then chases it with Diet Coke. And that's the face she makes when she does it. So I think she really did it. 1 Furnace O'Bones, grabby bathroom faucet handles, teenage suicide, don't do it. 1 Larry Fishburne based psych hospital nurse, and yes, that's Larry Fishburne, Before
his
he started
brother.
going, no, it's Lawrence. He just was going by Larry at the time.
In the credits.
In the credits, he's listed as Larry Fishburne. Good old
Nikki
Larry.
came in at the end of the movie, and she was like, "Is that Lawrence Fishburne?" I was like, "Yeah,
Is that old Lurie Fish?
Old Larry Fish in this movie. Patricia Arquette, scalpel slashing, one gray streak on the wrong side of her hair, Heather Langenkamp.
Oh.
The streak was on the wrong side.
I didn't notice that. I noticed the streak. I didn't realize.
So,
it was on
in
the
the
side.
first movie, she gets so scared
the hair in the hat.
in the sleep clinic. In the hat, she gets
She
the
brings it back.
streak's on the left. In this movie, it's on the right. Feel like they should have caught that. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Maybe it's like a Santa Claus thing where she colored it and the other side just went gray.
Maybe. Obligatory Ferrari poster, not so obligatory Run DMC poster. One mute but no less horny teenage boy. One melty tricycle. Patricia Arquette partially devoured by Freddie Wallsnake. Even more teenager gaslighting than the first movie. Knockoff Dungeons and Dragons playing. Classic product placement. Wheelchair-bound Dungeon Master. Muscle tissue marionette death. Dick Cavett-based Zsa Zsa Gabor slashing. Freddy possessed TV head smashing. Massive mohawk sporting. Sexy nurse sex that turns into bondage with extra long human tongues. Queen-sized bed / portal to hell. Freddy Krueger origin story. Chest carving text messaging. Stapler assault. Frequent Patricia Arquette screaming. One return of Nancy's dad, who now has a drinking problem. Junkyard bone hunting. Mass hypnosis. 4 straight talk only in here's. Armpit stabbing. Heroin fingers. 1 Mad Max wheelchair. And remote holy stabbing. Wiz and Sage's acting brilliant. Thank you awards go to. Finally, because he didn't speak much in the first movie, Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger for saying, "Welcome to primetime, bitch." And "What's wrong, Joey?" Feeling tongue-tied. And "God damn it, I said, where's my fucking bourbon?" Another award to Stacey Alden as Nurse Marcy for saying, "Do you like my body, Joey?" Nan Martina as the nun / Amanda Krueger for saying, "Freddy Krueger, the bastard son of 100 maniacs." That's my favorite line in the whole movie. Freddy Krueger, the bastard son of 100 maniacs. And "If your only faith is science, doctor, it may be you that's laid to rest." She was great. She was great. And then Ken Segoes as Roland Kincaid for saying, "Let's go kick the motherfucker's ass all over Dreamland."
Yeah. His voice is so funny because it does not match him.
Doesn't match him at all.
At all.
He's this big muscular dude. And he talks like this the whole time.
Yep.
He's very, very stereotyped. It's rough. But anyway, that's my TADPOG totals list for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Talk to me about it.
Well, so the first one ended with the Freddy car capturing all the kids. So
Yeah.
what's the real ending? Did they
So-
resolve that in 3? Like
They don't resolve any of the endings ever.
They don't ever resolve the endings. But what we're supposed to understand here is that in Dream Warriors, Nancy has gone to college. Now she's in school and she's an intern at a juvenile hospital for troubled kids that have tried to commit suicide or on drugs.
Okay, so
or
she
whatever.
survived. So the
She
ending was the
survived.
mom's dream.
She's on a medication now called Hypnosil, which is supposed to suppress dreams. And so she has been taking this medicine to suppress her dreams and thereby keeping Freddy Krueger at bay. But all these kids, who apparently are the kids of more parents who were in on the whole Freddy Krueger burning thing.
Right.
That are in this psych
I can
hospital.
buy that because it's like there really haven't been that many. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I mean, you're not wrong. And I mean, in the later reboot of the series, in the reboot, there was a lot of parents involved in that.
I need to see that. I haven't watched the remake.
It's good. It's not as good to me. It's way more serious. It has a whole lot less slapstick and a whole lot more serious.
Which I feel like is a misstep, in my opinion.
I agree
think
that it is a misstep.
One of the things that makes this franchise great, in my opinion, is how lighthearted it is.
So,
and
the
silly
thing,
it is.
The thing that really is kind of the biggest difference in this one is the fact that Freddy Krueger in this one, who was not played by Robert Englund in this movie, it was a guy named Jackie Earl Healy played Freddy in this movie.
What?
Is that the guy who plays Rorschach?
Are you
Yes.
sure?
Okay.
I mean, double check. Now that you questioned me, I've got to double check it.
Because I did thought just in random roll of bardic knowledge, I thought I had seen that guy as Freddy at some point in time.
Yeah, Jackie Earl Haley plays Freddy in this movie, and that came out in
the
2010.
Oh, in the remake.
The remake.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Okay, yeah, all right. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And
I thought you were
so-
talking about the Dream Warriors.
No. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear on that. Yeah, Robert Englund plays Freddy all the way up to Freddy versus Jason. Then they reboot this in 2010.
I just misunderstood you.
Yeah, and Jackie Earl Haley plays Freddy in the reboot.
I feel like that's also pretty good casting.
The biggest difference, it is good. He's a really good Freddy Krueger, but again, this one is a lot darker. Like, it's still just as gory and violent, but it doesn't have that humor. It's
No
very
blow-up dolls
dark.
pulled through
And
windows.
One of the biggest differences that makes it so much darker is the fact that, as opposed to being a child murderer, he's a child molester. And he was the janitor at the kids' school and molested all the kids, or all the kids said that he molested them, so the parents ganged up and burned him alive, and he had sworn he didn't do it. And so, in a way, at the beginning of in the first, hour or so of the movie, you're feeling pretty sympathetic for the guy. Like, he was wrongfully murdered, and so now it feels like he's justified in his revenge. But it's just darker in every way, and they changed the story and stuff, and it's like, I don't know. I would say see it for yourself, because it's more scary. Like, it's more of a horror film than just kind of a gory film, but still pretty good. I wasn't say just check it out. I give the new Nightmare on Elm Street 3.5 stars, just having seen it a few times. But Dream Warriors. So one of the things they find out, though, that they can do is, with the help of Patricia Arquette's character, they can all come together in the same dream. And in their dreams, they can fight and have, like a wheelchair-bound kid can walk, and he's like a wizard. And
so that's why you can be 4 people in the NES game.
Right.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I was going with that, exactly. And one of the things they have to do in the movie is find Freddy's bones and bury them. Like, give him a proper burial so that he gets dealt with, and he leaves the dream world or whatever and is now banished to hell or whatever for good. So, and in the game, you got to find all of the bones.
Oh, it's so fun, so good, getting those bones.
Anything else about the movie? Either movie?
I did look up some trivia.
Okay.
So the first one saved New Line Cinema. They were about to declare bankruptcy until this was a huge hit, and it saved New Line.
It was a big deal. Everybody was all about Freddy Krueger when it came out.
And Heather Logenfield, when she has her back turned, body double.
Oh.
You just got to destroy everything.
I didn't want that. I didn't want to know that.
So you guys talk about the game?
They made a game for the NES.
Made by Rare 1 year before Battletoads, like 4 years before Donkey Kong Country. Published by LJN in, I think, 1990. It is an action platformer that takes place on Elm Street. It is reminiscent of a game that came out later called Virtual Bart.
Oh yeah,
You got your
it
street
really
hub
is.
world. Yep.
You do have your street hub world, and then you play as 1, 2, 3, or 4 teenagers on Elm Street that can play simultaneously with the NES 4 score a controller adapter. It is simultaneous play, which is not a thing that I'm used to seeing outside of Bomberman.
Yeah. Especially for the NES.
Especially for the NES. You have to collect Freddy's bones, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Which are all comical dog bones. He's made entirely of dog bones.
Yeah,
There's no ribs
cartoon
or
dog
skulls.
bones.
Yeah, he's just dog bones.
Just dog bones.
And once you collect all of the bones in a level, you fight Freddy. And then you go to another location and collect more bones and then fight Freddy again.
There are various bosses.
Yeah, and I feel like they're kind of all the same,
Right.
but at least one is like the Snake Freddy from Dream Warriors, which I think Dream Warriors had incredibly good practical effects. Some of it's laughable, but
The Snake Freddy.
the Snake Freddy
was
looked
cool.
looked really fucking good. I want to know how that was done.
Yeah. There
and
was
then
Marionette Freddy.
Marionette Freddy, I also thought was very well done.
And Skeleton Freddy.
Skeleton Freddy,
Which looked like something right out of Army of Darkness.
totally, which I think
Very
would have been like awesome if it had been in the dream world as
Right.
opposed to in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Freddy's bones fight back at the end of the movie. They go to bury him. Freddy realizes what they're doing, so he like possesses his bones and comes as a skeleton and fights with the dudes that are trying to bury the bones.
One of which is Nancy's dad,
Right.
piece of shit dad who tries to
Fresh off a bender.
leave.
Yeah.
So this game being 1, a movie game,
Yeah.
2, having the LJN brand right on it, 3, being the Angry Video Game Nerd covered it 17 years ago.
Damn.
I did not expect to sit down and play this and love it.
It's a pretty good game.
I fucking thought this game is the most fun I've had with an NES game on this show in a fucking minute.
Right. It's
pretty good.
I did not expect that.
Cool.
I liked it too. I thought it was really interesting. I think it's neat that there's an awake and dream cycle.
That is cool.
There's a meter that you have that's your sleep meter.
Uh-huh.
It starts full and then it starts to just gradually empty. If you're standing still, it empties faster. If you're moving around, it's
Right.
It's slower.
Which is cool because if you're moving, it's harder to fall asleep.
If you pick up coffee, it refills. But if it becomes empty, then you enter the dream cycle, where the levels are essentially the same, but there are different enemies. Twisted versions of, instead of like regular rats, now they're like rats with Freddy's face.
The spiders with Freddy's face on them creeped me the fuck out. They were creepy as fuck.
Flaming zombies instead of regular zombies.
Right. And then
Skull bats instead of regular
you
bats.
can, right. Then you can also use your Dream Warrior power ups that you've picked up. You can, whether it's there's the Shadow Warrior, which is a ninja, and then there's an acrobat.
I thought that was just like a athlete. 'Cause you can throw a javelin.
Yeah, maybe it is an athlete. I don't know. And then a wizard or necromancer.
This is again very cool tie-ins to the Dream Warrior movie.
Yeah, I think I got it. I honestly could have kept playing it. I wish I had started with it earlier than I did.
Yeah, me too.
I got to the boss of the junkyard, and that's where I ran out of continues.
Pretty generous continues.
Yeah.
It felt like
You get 5 lives,
and
lots
3
of
continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice.
And it's not a hard game to pick up and play. I'm terrible at games like this, as I've said several times in the past, but I did appreciate it. And I thought, despite the fact that, this is 8-bit, kind of almost monochrome, it still, I thought Freddy looked like Freddy. They still did a pretty good job of making it look like the stuff.
Yeah.
I liked it. I
Good
thought
music.
It was cool. It had great music.
Yep.
I like the music a lot. I remember a neighbor of mine had this when I was in 2nd grade, and I was afraid I was going to get in trouble for playing it.
It also reminded me a lot of Monster Party.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah, weirdness level. For sure.
And just how the levels will invert and then...
Yeah, at first
And
I
your
didn't
eyes
know
got
what
moist.
was...
Your eyes moistened.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on when the game started making the dream thing. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And it was neat.
Yeah, and the downside of being in the dream cycle, I mean, it's great because you can be a dream warrior, but Freddy can get you.
Yeah. And it's kind of random. He'll just, after a certain amount of time passes when you're wandering around in the dream version, it'll be Freddy's coming.
You're in a boss fight.
Now you're fighting
Now you're
Freddy.
fighting
After Freddy's, there's a very tiny
Little TM. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I forgot to read. But I meant to mention that too. Yeah, the TMs. Don't forget, this is trademark New Line Cinema.
Freddy was pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
Freddy
You
was
could run
not
into him,
tough.
but he wouldn't hurt you. He'd only hurt you if he hit you with his claw.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, the easiest part is when Freddy's coming for you.
It is. I have some email to read about the game. This is the Time Cop email, which I will finish next week when we do Time Cop. But this is Brad's first email for the week. What's up? I went to the Arizona Cardinals NFL game with my father-in-law on Monday. Which is awesome. That's fucking live football games are so much fun. My first live football game since 2005. So long ago, the home team I saw back then no longer plays in that city, and the stadium has been demolished. NFL games are so loud now. I guess fans don't know they should make noise when it's third down unless a DJ plays the intro to Bulls on Parade or Hell's Bells and screams, "Third down, make some noise." This is true. On third down, it's like just about every game you go to on third down, the crowd goes wild to try and make so much noise that the opposing team can't hear the calls being made, and maybe you'll go off sides or whatever. Brad continues, I was trying to get a video of the halftime light show to send to my wife, and a woman who was practically falling out of her top jiggled her way up the stairs to the concourse within frame as I'm taking the video, making me look like a total creeper. Oh, well, right? I'd share it if I hadn't deleted it. Hell yeah! So that's the not Time Cop part of that email. Now we're going to the Nightmare on Elm Street email. Brad continues, I feel weird because I'm writing an email you will read on air before the one I wrote 2 days ago. Here's Nightmare on Elm Street from the August 1990 issue of Video Games and Computer Entertainment. A Nightmare on Elm Street, LJN. When writer-director Wes Craven unleashed the original A Nightmare on Elm Street movie back in 1984, no one could have predicted the popularity of the film's horribly scarred villain, Freddy Krueger. Like any self-respecting cinema slasher, he keeps coming back. This time, he's the master of ceremonies in LJN's latest NES cartridge. Up to 4 players can participate in the battle to free Elm Street from Freddy's diabolical clutches. As a teenager whose dreams are troubled by frighteningly real visions of horror, courtesy of you-know-who, you must visit each building on Elm Street and collect Freddy's bones, which will later be tossed into the school's furnace. On the way, you'll meet the usual assortment of creatures, including bats, rats, zombies, and giant spiders. Naturally, there is one other complication. If your on-screen sleep meter runs out, you'll doze off and enter a nightmare world where Freddy's influence is immediately apparent. The locations and obstacles are all exactly where they were when you were awake, but your opponents have become Freddy's pets, many of them with little Freddy heads in place of their own. And of course, there are infrequent encounters with the man himself, like the Ready, Set, Go screens in the old Wizard of War arcade game. Krueger's appearances are heralded by huge letters that scream, Freddy's TM coming. He may not be wearing his trademark red and black striped sweater, but there's no mistaking that razor-clawed glove, particularly when there are oversized duplicates of the glove bursting out of the ground beneath your feet. Those things killed me a lot. I was terrible at avoiding the razor claws coming out of the ground.
They're tough. For sure.
In its incarnation as an NES cartridge, A Nightmare on Elm Street is basically a horizontally scrolling beat-em-up game like Double Dragon without the martial arts angle. Though your character can only punch, jump, and duck, you do have the option of becoming one of the 3 Dream Warrior characters during the nightmare sequences. These alter egos have special powers and can throw weapons, making it easier to defeat your opponents from a distance. I have to admit that this game is much more fun than I expected it to be. This is like Tyler wrote this. Mm-hmm. I'm instinctively suspicious of any video game that's based on a film or TV show. But Elm Street is a successful merger of 2 different entertainment mediums. Most important, the gameplay is good enough to stand up on its own. The sharp, colorful graphics are instantly appealing, and the varied music sets the mood with the themes that are scary but fun. As in the films, the special effects are important. The movie-like wavering of the screen that occurs when entering or leaving the dream sequence is particularly impressive. Best of all, your on-screen character is extremely easy to control, which I agree. The controls were easy to use. The jump was good. I felt like I knew where I was going to land when I jumped, which is not the case for me most of the time. There's never a questionable moment where it seems like the program responded unfairly. If you're killed, it's always because of your own mistake, and such mistakes can be corrected the second time around. Smooth, quick, and responsive, it plays like every video game should. At the Consumer Electronics Show in June of 1988, LJN announced the licensing of the Elm Street name and Freddy character for an NES game. The promotional materials they distributed looked extremely promising, with highly detailed screenshots and a written description of the game where you controlled Freddy Krueger. 2 years have passed, and that germ of a game concept has been turned inside out. Happily, the final version of A Nightmare on Elm Street is a pretty decent game. A lot of people are sure to buy it because of the name alone, so it's a relief to find that there's more to it than Freddy's pretty face. So, it got good scores. It got a 7 for sound and graphics. Playability got a 9, and overall it got a 7. Brad continues, I also enjoyed the cover of this issue. Ian, please do a Michael Jackson impression here. Hee. And there's a picture of Michael Jackson from Moonwalker.
On the cover.
On the cover of that issue. So there's your Michael Jackson impression. So thank you, Brad, for that lovely email. Those emails. I'll pick up your first email next week when we do Time Hop.
When he mentioned finding coffee to fill up your sleep bar again, reminded me of Nancy's mom taking all the coffee stuff out of her room and then her pulling out a full-size coffee maker that was on with fresh coffee up under her bed.
From under her bed.
That in my list was a hidden coffee pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was up. It had brewed a fresh pot.
It was ready.
It was ready to go.
And it always seemed like, I guess it's the type of bottle, but the liquor bottle the mom's drinking of seemed perpetually cold and frozen, like she just pulled vodka out of the freezer.
It was either that or it was rum. I don't know, because those rum bottles will tend to be white, but either way.
Well, do you guys have any achievements?
Yeah, I have exactly 5 achievements. And I bet you're going to know really quick what they are, what all of them are after I do the first one. My first achievement is 1-2, Freddy's coming for you. And to get that, you encounter random Freddy TM and survive. My second achievement is 3-4, better lock your door. Be unable to enter a building and die outside, never knowing why you couldn't get in. I never did figure out why I couldn't get into some of the buildings.
Man, that's honestly, that's a super frustrating thing about this game is it's sometimes hard to get into locations. Like even when you can get into them, you have to be lined up in just right in the right spot.
Okay. And there's so many enemies that it's hard to
get lined up. Yeah. And also to know if it's locked or not, because the locations are randomized whether they're locked. Right. So it's because sometimes the first house will be open. Sometimes that first level is actually the third house. So it's one of those situations. I stood in front of
the high school and tried to keep getting into the high school, and I kept dying because the thing was dropping rocks on my head.
Right, when you're trying to get in.
You can't shoot up. And when I was trying to get in, so I was very confused as to what was going on.
I wish they would have made it very obvious whether or not you could enter a building. I agree. That would have made the game better.
My next achievement is 5-6. Grab your crucifix. To get that one, you find all of Freddy's TM bones. 7-8, better stay up late is my next achievement. Start playing this game for your podcast that discusses old video games the night before the episode airs. 9-10, never sleep again is my final achievement, as you may have guessed. And to get that, you have nightmares about the spiders with Freddy's head, because even in 8-bit, that shit was fucked up to me. And that's all I've got.
I have 3. The first of which is they check in, but they don't check out. In order to unlock, they check in, but they don't check out. Find a bug in the game and write a letter to Rare to report it. Second achievement, welcome to primetime, bitch, which was an ad-libbed line.
Right. Okay.
Which I think is great.
Oh, yeah. That's when he's really getting into it, right?
Yeah. I think the original line, he was just having a problem saying it. It was something along the lines of like, it's time for the big show or something like that. And he asked if he could do the line, if he could just do a line. And they said, do you have one that's better? And he's like, yes. And then Welcome to Primetime, bitch is born. In order to unlock Welcome to Primetime, bitch, you lose your last life and bang your head against the TV in frustration. The last achievement is, how's this for a wet dream? In order to unlock, how's this for a wet dream? Stop playing the game when Freddy's coming starts flashing on the screen. And that's it.
Nice. Tyler?
I've got 4. First one being, I'm not an Imagineer. Do that by beating a boss as your base regular person, not taking on a Dream Warrior persona.
I got that one.
I didn't, because I was like, how can I? Oh, fuck yeah, I'm Javelin Man. Sweet. Let's see. Throwing it back for more bones.
Hell yeah. It's sexy.
Yeah, it is.
It's a sexy one.
And that is when you get to the end of a level, realize you missed a bone at the very, very start and had to backtrack all.
Oh, I like that.
I got that one too.
At least twice.
I think he was watching me play, guys.
How about that bone that was hiding in that spider web? Do you guys know what I'm talking
I know
about?
exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
I was going around that level like I got one fucking bone left. Where is it? I went back and forth like twice, and I was like, they hid the white bone in the white spider web. Diabolical.
Well, bones and spider webs are both white.
It's true.
It's true. It's accurate.
True.
It's real. It's movie accurate.
Also, the spider webs are going at like a 45-degree angle, and the bones are going at a 45-degree angle. It's like, man, fuck you guys.
My third one is, what about the ROUS?
The rodents of unusual size.
You kill 40 rats.
Nice.
These giant ass rats.
Yeah, it's fun to punch them.
Because you got that big haymakers.
Yeah, it like docks it back.
And the last one, say anything, find 10 stereos.
Nice.
And that's how you get out of the dream realm, is you find a stereo.
Right. Okay. Good ones. I liked all those.
How much do you think you pay for this game if you were to buy it today?
It sounds like it was probably pretty well sold. I bet it sold a lot of copies. Especially considering that this is one of those where, you know, despite having the game having been released so far after the original movies came out, this is one that I feel like people were waiting for. Like they were excited that, oh, finally we're getting this kind of thing. So I bet it sold a lot. So I bet it's out there. I'd say $9.
$9?
Yeah.
What you think, Tyler?
I'll double it, give it to the next person. $18.
$18. Actual retail value of A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES used on average, according to pricecharting.com at the time of this recording, is $63.25.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, it does have Freddy Krueger on it. TM.
Popular
That's
franchise.
What you're paying for.
Popular franchise. Well, a good game. Has all the things going for it. So that's crazy. That's one of the more expensive ones we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty. That's high up there.
Yeah.
What do you think Flopsy Jr. has to say about it?
Well, I want to say it's common, right?
It makes me want to, for $63?
Could you imagine a $63 common game?
No.
It was pretty late. It came out in 1990.
Right.
It's pretty late for the NES. So typically, the later a game comes out for the NES, the less were made. The fewer were made. Fewer. But it is Freddy Krueger. That's the other thing. It's like, because it's like, yeah, it's Freddy Krueger. It's 1990. I would think that they would make a lot of that. But I don't know.
I'd
say
Edge at least go uncommon.
I'd probably land on uncommon. That's where I was kind of.
I'll give it to be made for very uncommon, but I feel like split the.
I doubt it's very uncommon. I don't know though, man. That price is what's fucking
That's
with me.
Fucking lot.
I think, but keep in mind, we've seen like other games from like popular franchises.
Yeah.
Be high because they're from that franchise. Like I'm trying to remember what Super Nintendo game we did that was like, wow, that's really expensive, and it was based on a movie, like a collectible movie franchise.
Yeah.
And fucking Nightmare on Elm Street is that's a collectible
You're right.
franchise. Like people fucking collect that shit.
They do.
It's gonna be uncommon then. So it's late, skewed a little bit. Let's say uncommon.
I agree.
How do you think it was reviewed? What do you think the star rating is?
I'm gonna go with my gut here and the impression we had and the impression that was almost word for word the same from the article that Brad sent. I'm gonna say 3.5 stars.
3.5.
That would probably be a good number, wouldn't you?
I could see that.
3 to 3.5 is what I thought.
I mean, I think it's a good
Does
game.
Flopsy Jr. tend to be as generous as Flopsy is?
We haven't really spoken to Flopsy Jr. enough times for me to really know
that sample
that.
size is pretty small.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, they were raving about it in that one magazine article, right? I mean, it seems like it would be hard to say. It would. I doubt it's less than 3, but I would say probably that'll skew towards the same kind of mentality.
3.5.
I'd say 3.5 if y'all are okay with it.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right.
3.5
So we're saying
uncommon?
uncommon 3.5. Yeah.
Uncommon 3.5. Okay. According to Flopsy Jr., aka the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library, 1985 through 1995, believe it or not.
God almighty.
By Pat Contry, courtesy of a mysterious shadowy benefactor.
No, that's not from a mysterious shadowy benefit.
Oh, I'm sorry, from Big Dick Pie Baker, Chris Vaughn. Old Habits.
Yes.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Availability common.
Shit.
Damn.
4 stars.
Wow.
Common 4.
Common 4 and $63.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
That's fine.
So the nerd was just way off
Yeah.
putting this in his garbage game pile
Yeah.
17 years ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of his I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but isn't a lot of his stuff kind of like parody? I mean, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
He's been doing good games as of recently.
yeah.
So, like, he did Earthbound and Final Fantasy VI.
Like I kind of always would take his reviews with like a grain of salt, because it's like, I mean, sometimes I feel like he's just doing it for the
Just
fun
for the
of,
shock. Yeah.
Yeah.
of saying things like buffalo shit in an ear, you know. He's also not really like a video game guy, right? He's like a movie guy.
He's way more of a movie guy.
Yeah. And I think AV or the
The nerd is just his video game part.
that
But
really caught on and
Yeah.
took off.
that finances his bigger passion of movies.
Yeah. The angry Nintendo nerd. That's how he started.
That's how he started out. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you gave this game a beard, what kind of beard would you give it?
I would have to give it a conglomeration of maggot, roach guts, entrail, snake-like entrails coming out of a body bag from a girl that you've just killed, seeping out of Freddy's face, but in like the best possible way.
Hell yeah.
Beard.
I like that she kept showing up in that body bag. I feel like in the first movie, I feel like that was very much a nod to or stolen from An American Werewolf in London.
Absolutely. Which I watched yesterday as well.
Oh, nice. I love that movie. I need to rewatch it. It's been a few years. But that happens in that movie where like his friend who dies early on in the movie comes back. It's different, way different.
Like he talks to him and like says, well, I would, but you got me killed.
Right.
He's constantly laying the guilt trip on him.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it 40 pairs of glasses in that they're all broken windows that are barricaded in Nancy's house that she shatters, running from side of the house to side of the house, trying to get her dad to pay attention to her.
Police officer father to pay attention and help her.
In fairness, he has the remains of like a blood cyclone to look at.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's character just kind of sucked.
You think so?
Yeah, he was a very shitty boyfriend. I was expecting, knowing nothing about this franchise at all, like nothing. I was expecting him to have a part in bringing Freddy back. He seemed so shitty.
Really?
Just like, I just need you to just stay awake. I fall asleep. Okay, he wanted Freddy to get her.
Right.
Like,
What?
how would like be here?
You think he wanted Freddy to get her?
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought he was setting Freddy up to get her. Like he had
Really?
something to do with it, and then because he was mad that she wouldn't fuck him, and he was just so nonchalant. And it's like, meet me at midnight. Yeah, fine, I'll be here. And he's just like in bed with his headphones on. I figured he was behind it somehow because he just at no point acted like he gave a fuck about her. So
that whole girlfriend not wanting to have sex with the boyfriend thing in a Wes Craven movie, it started there and it lasted all the way to Scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe that's why like he gave me, because Johnny Depp and Skeet Ulrich look alike anyway.
And I think that's probably part of the reason that Skeet Ulrich got that role is because, he looks like Depp, and this is a franchise that was coming out of nowhere to blow everyone's fucking mind, just like Nightmare on Elm Street did. So there's a lot of parallels there. One of the things I did find funny is, Dave, you mentioned how most people don't wake up their child to tell them it's midnight so they can go to bed.
It's such a pointless scene in that movie.
Because he's wearing his headphones and watching TV and doing all this
But he wasn't
stuff.
watching it. He was sleeping. But I think the whole point of that scene, because like the thing that I do is when a scene ends, my brain is like, hey, what was the point of that scene?
Right.
And I have a problem when I don't have an answer. And that one ended, and I was like, I think to let us know that it was almost midnight. And then my brain's like, they could have shown us a clock. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That whole scene could have been condensed to just like panning over a clock to like Nancy's window.
Yeah. I mean, it was whenever he was listening and you could hear the national anthem playing.
Yeah.
That was also good enough.
Yeah.
The headphones he was wearing had a sticker on them with his name.
I know, right?
Glenn. And I thought,
like the label maker stuff.
The punch label maker style. And I thought to myself, why on earth would he have a name sticker on his headphones? These giant headphones that he doesn't take out of the house, probably.
I guess she would have known they were his.
She found them in the dungeon or in the boiler room, all covered in blood, and it focused on the name tag.
You're right.
So that Nancy could know that they were Glenn's headphones, and it's like she knows he's fucking dead. And we know whose headphones they are. So I feel like that was a little unnecessary.
I chalked that up to, yes, I have also been bored in the 80s with a label maker. That's honestly where I went.
Funny. Now, that would have been funny is if there were Glenn labels on everything in this room.
Yes, that would have been more accurate.
Yeah. Exactly.
I get. I'm actually
toothbrush has a Glenn sticker.
I just there was one screen tester who was just like, I didn't know whose headphones those were. I don't. That was really confusing. Bad movie.
Right,
reshoots. Who's Glenn?
I did like it'd be introducing Johnny Depp. We anticipate this kid's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
So introducing.
Yeah, it's his first movie.
Because I had to look up how old is he now? He's 61. All right, he was 21 when he did this. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Next week, Time Cop. They're
Yes,
excited
for
about
real
that.
this time. We're really doing it this time.
Phil's in. He had no problem. He
We
thought it
wouldn't
was
lie
also
to you.
appropriate doing it the day before the election. So
Ah,
do a dystopian future before we
Yes.
figure out our dystopian future. Our theme song is Moods of Sycamore Drive. Link to that track from the show notes at tadpog.com. Hey, you guys want to close it out?
by talking about Patreon,
Okay.
which is where we ask for money, please.
Money, please.
If you'd like to give us some money, you can do that by going to patreon.com/tadpog. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to all of our bonus content, which is fun. And sometimes those episodes are even longer than the ones we do every week. You know, there's several that are 3 or 4 hours long.
Yep.
We made a meal out of Joe Dirt. I mean, come on.
You're going to watch Joe Dirt twice.
You could have. You could have watched Joe Dirt 1 and 2 in the time it took us to talk about part 1. But we're crazy. Our crazy shenanigans are even crazier on our Patreon episodes. So if you want to hear them, give us $1 at patreon.com/tadpog, and you can do that. And we also have some executive producers. They give us $20 or more per month, which really goes a long way. It helps sustain the show, helps sustain our bill-paying needs, and we're really grateful for that. So I'd like to read those names as I do every week, starting with Cubicle Monkey, Gamebug Prime, Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane Archmage, Chris Edler, sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Derek Pope Sandwich, comes on his wife, Jeff Miners, congratulations on your marriage. He made me correct it to comes on his wife and not comes in his wife.
Wait, what's the story behind that?
I'm not going to get into that.
I guess
He just asked me
we'll
to...
have to ask her.
I don't know. Do the math. He asked me to change it. We had a laugh, so I did. I changed it and told him that I would read it that way.
They're Mormon.
I said I wasn't gonna mention it.
Oh,
but
We mentioned it. It's fine.
I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna read it changed and see if y'all noticed.
oh yeah, I noticed. I thought you made a mistake.
Oh, not where he comes. Not where he comes.
Drink Smith, Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope, Phil Hawkins, who will be on next week's episode with
Hell
us
yeah.
for Time Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Louisville correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Karen Dahl, but not the Terran from Dream Warriors. There is a Terran, the one with the giant mohawk in Dream Warriors.
He dies by heroin syringe fingers.
By heroin syringe fingers to the arm, to the suckling arm mouth.
More body horror.
More body horror.
That one from the later ones, because those mouths on the arms.
So
man.
creepy.
Yeah, real creepy.
But he kills her by an overdose on heroin.
Sure does.
His fingers. So
That's
she's
probably the best way to go in Freddy's world.
she's a recovering heroin addict.
Right.
And when she goes in to fight him as a dream warrior, his answer to her kicking his ass is to change his fingers into syringes full of heroin. And then it cuts down to a shot of her arms, which have these like needle mouths, like mouth
Suckling at it. Yeah.
looking for the needles. So he sticks all the needles in her arm and overdoses her on drugs. And then Freddy goes, "What a rush." Canadian Turbo Nerd Thomas, and last but not least, Treff Dietrich. Thank you so much all for your lovely, wonderful donations. Special thanks out to Brad, as always, for sending us those nice emails. And I believe that is that.
All right.
It makes more I like the setup in Dream Warriors with them being in an institute.
Right. And then
As
they all have
opposed
a
to them-
weakness for Freddy to exploit.
Exactly.
Specifically, yeah.
They all have a reason for being together. It's not like in the other movies where it's like, well, we're in high school.
We're in high school together. We have gym at the same time
Right.
every day.
Yeah. Man, sure sucks that like one of us dies every day, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess in Freddy versus Jason, I feel like they must take him to that institute.
I really don't remember. I remember so little about that movie.
Because Freddy inhabits, he possesses one of the kids, and they go to that institute, and he brings a fuck ton of needles and stabs Jason until he falls asleep.
Yeah. And then he goes in and fights Freddy in the nightmare.
I do remember that.
But then Freddy comes out into the real world and they fight at Camp Crystal Lake.
Right.
Yeah.
It was good shit. I love that movie. It's not great, but I love that movie.
But if
Lot
Freddy
of
died
fun.
by fire and Jason died by water.
See?
Good shit.
Every yin must have its yang. Every Coke must have its Pepsi. Every Deep Impact must have its Abyss.
Armageddon.
Or Armageddon. Shit.
Well, how you guys want to close it out?
I mean, I feel like as Freddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So until next time. Tropical Capricorn.
bitch.
Say that twice.
That's why I didn't say it, because you guys said
We
it
said it
twice.
twice.
So then
That was really smart of you.
accurate.
That was fucking smart as shit,
He
dude.
knew what we were going to do.
No shit, man.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes published Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpog Discord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
And now, an appropriate dramatic reading. I lie awake and dread the lonely nights. I'm not alone. I wonder if these heavy eyes can face the unknown. When I close my eyes, I realize it's poetry.
It is poetry.
Poetry. You'll come my way. I'm standing in the night alone, forever together. Oh, we're the dream warriors. Don't want to dream no more. We're the dream warriors. And maybe tonight you'll be gone. I feel the touch coming over me. I can't explain. I hear the voices calling out, calling my name. It's the same desire to feel the fire that's coming your way. I'm standing in the night alone, forever together. Oh, we're the dream warriors. Don't want to dream no more. We're the dream warriors. Maybe tonight you'll be gone. We're the dream warriors. Dream warriors. Sweet revenge, the bitter end, the time. Break the spell of the illusion. Bound together, waiting for you. Dream warriors.
Nice.